Hi, I'm Debbie,
And I'm Jan.
and this is the Villages 365. And that might have been my stomach you heard growling. But today we're going to talk about your questions answered, and we're trying to get through a little marathon here. So this is segment number 5, if you're keeping track. And the first question was off of our snowbird or seasonal video. It was from Noah Sheshtel. I am a 4-0 tennis player and would like to hook up and hit with some similar skilled players. I would like to know how I should get in some games while I'm down here. My first recommendation would be to reach out to Glenview Tennis Center, and that is the only tennis club that we have here in the Villages. So then you can just let them know that you're a 4-0, when you will be here, and then what type of tennis you're looking for, men's, women's, mixed, whatever it is you're looking for, what days you can play in a general range of times, and they try to get you into an appropriate group. You can also hit with a pro if you want to be evaluated, so that one of them can give you an idea of what type of level, because we do find down here that a 4-0 in Michigan is different than a 4-0 in California, different than a 4-0 in tennis or in Texas. So it just kind of sometimes can help too if you hit with somebody, just to kind of get an idea of your level and where we could slot you, or where they could slot you in down here. You can play on the hard courts. There are groups that play on the hard courts. Some of them put their level in the paper and some don't. So you'll get the rec news every Thursday. It comes out in the paper, and you can just flip through that and look for tennis and see what types of groups. But those are usually closed groups, and so you would need to reach out to their captain or the organizer or whatever. But best way I would tell you is to go through Glenview Tennis Center. I can't speak today.
I know, me too. It's just like
Glenview Tennis Center, and talk to them, and they'll help you get in with a good group of people. So thanks for the question.
actually, my answer for that was Debbie can answer this one because I know nothing about tennis. Our next one for seasonal or snowbird is from Mike Terry. Do renters need to be 55 years old? And I don't think so. I don't think there's any. It's homeowners. I guess if you're 12 years old, you might be able to rent a house. I don't know. I've not heard of that. They do like to have people 19 and over as living in the houses.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are under 19, which I don't know why you would be renting here, but I'll just say no.
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
Yeah. And I agree. I don't think you do. Norma Tyther asked, how hard is it to get a starting time at a championship course, season and off season? Kind of a complex question. So in general, the answer would be harder in season. So I would say harder from, what do you think now? December?
Now
maybe?
it's December.
December through April-ish is the toughest time. During the summer, of course, it's hotter, so we have less golfers. Yeah. And a lot of people are gone and that sort of thing. So I would say it's pretty easy in the off times. During the season, so we've talked about this before, but just to refresh you, there is something called an enhanced membership. Well, there's two different things here. An enhanced membership, you pay $1,000 extra a year. Well, for a couple, $1,000 extra a year. And then what that does is that allows you priority tee time. So as long as you and everybody in your group is enhanced, you can then get a priority tee time. So you kind of get bumped ahead of the rest of the group. That said, there's a point system. I'm not going to go into it, complicated point system. But anyway, in general, the theory is you would get a priority tee time. The other way that we would recommend you doing that is to get the website. It's called thevillages.net, and it's $9 a month, $8 or $9.
$8. Yeah. It's been that way forever. I shouldn't say that out loud. They'll probably raise the prices.
It's super cheap. And basically what that does is that allows you to go in and you can reserve tee times where you make if you're 4 to 6 days out, you can make a request. So you can say, I want to play on Tuesday at Glenview between noon and 2, and they will do their best to accommodate that. Or you can look from today for the next 3 days to see what is an open tee time, and you can book it that way. So during the season, we always do our requests. We're like, okay, because we golf either on Mondays or Tuesdays or whatever. But anyway, so we will say, okay, so put in for Monday at 1 o'clock so that we can get a tee time, because it is tougher during the season for sure to get a tee time.
Yeah,
so
the courses are full. And in the summertime, they have the after 4. I mean, it's super cheap to golf after 4. Then you can golf till dark. And there are a lot of people that are here full time will do that because it is cheap, but it's hot. But you can call up at 2 o'clock and it's wide open, but they're booked from 4 o'clock, that 4 to 5 booking. And so a lot of times Mark and I will just call and we'll hop on real quick and the two of us will play. I will say something about the system of points that keeps it from someone playing all the time and
at the same time snagging the best times.
Right. And then somebody that hasn't been here for a while, they want a tea time, that kind of bumps them up and that person down. And so every which is very fair.
Yeah. And so what it is every time you play, you get a certain number of points. So if you make a reservation and you don't show up, you actually get dinged.
Yeah.
But if you show up, you just get your certain amount of points. And so, as Jan said, the idea is to try and keep it balanced so that I'm not a 8 o'clock in the morning tea time hog and take golf every day at 8 o'clock in the morning. Too bad for the rest of you that want to get in. And so it does try to keep it fair.
That's anyway, it's pretty clever.
But yeah, so.
Okay. Is it my turn? Mm-hmm. All right. Home improvement ideas. Gary Moisen, how good at golfers are both of you? Well,
we're both scratch.
I don't want to brag, but we thought about going pro. But then we decided it was too much trouble and too much travel. Plus, I don't like to practice, but we're not bad. Debbie can hit the ball. I think it's her tennis. I mean, she can hit the ball like nobody. She plays from the lights. She plays. I don't play from the forwards yet, but.
What would you say? We're bogey golfers, right?
Basically.
Sometimes a little over, sometimes a little under.
Sometimes we have a good day.
Yeah.
Well, you had a good day yesterday. And sometimes we have a bad day. So
my best day was 82, and I've gotten 1 hole in 1.
I've not had a hole in 1. I've had 4 eagles. And right after a golf lesson years ago, I got a 37 on the Oaks, which is one of the harder courses. And we were almost laughing because I couldn't miss a putt. I mean, I would just hit it and it would go in and we'd all start laughing. That is not normal. So anyway, that was a cute question.
Yeah. Keith R. asked, do you still use the hot tub in the hot months? Do you still use it as much overall as when you first got it? So to the first part of your question, yes, but what we tend to do is we turn it down to like the lowest setting, whatever it is, 89, I think is like the lowest setting or whatever. And it still gets plenty hot, but we do that to try and keep it down. We can also lift off the lid because we feel like with the lid, like all that hot air is kind of staying in there and that sort of thing. So it can be used. I will say I don't enjoy being over boiled, and I do feel a bit like a lobster, so I don't enjoy it as much, I will say. But for physical reasons, and I will use it in the mornings. If I played tennis and golf and like had a rough exercise day, the next morning it's nice to get up. I crawl out of bed and I go get in the hot tub. Do we still use it as much overall as when we first got it? I would say, yeah. I mean, I think that, like Jan and Mark come over and they use it. So we do some of our socializing out there on the hot tub. And yeah, I do think that we do. And like I said, when I have my sores, I need to get in there.
Mark uses yours a lot because he's a gym rat. And so he's always hurting something. So he's grabs his shorts
jumps on in
and says, can I get in your hot tub? All right. William Hitz. Who do you use for your hard surface countertops when you replace them? Our island is metal, and it's a powder coating that we purchased from a small company in Gravette, Arkansas, because we had it at our lake house and loved it. Our other countertops were done by Central Florida Kitchen and Bath in Ocala, and they're wonderful. And they have all sorts of different types. I don't know where you got yours.
Ours we got from Ultimate Granite, and they are in Lady Lake right on Rolling Acres. And their phone number, in case you're interested, is 352-748-1133. And I love our product. It's been in there 8 years now, and I still love it. No, knock on wood, no stains, no issues. It's beautiful. I still feel it's as nice as when we got it, and so I would recommend them as well too. I mean, they did a great job on the install.
There's a lot of choices down here.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can go wrong with. Well, you could. I won't say that. Scratch that.
Sandy Smith asked, do they allow citrus or avocados in your front yard? Yes, you can put trees in your yard. You have to be careful about taking out trees, but you can put trees in.
Yes. And also, do lemon trees, is it true like right under the tree because of all the acidity that it kind of kills the grass? Have you
I haven't
noticed that?
heard that.
Our neighbor planted one like right on the line between us, and it seemed like as the little guy was growing that there was a big thing around it. But
Maybe it just doesn't get the sun.
oh yeah, that could be. I don't know. I just thought that was weird, and I thought, well, lemons are acidy, but her aunt, who unfortunately passed away, has the best lemons in her yard.
It's the best lemon tree in the Villages,
Ever.
probably in the state of Florida. They're like
And
cantaloupes.
we would juice them, and I mean, not that many lemons would make this whole huge thing, and then we freeze it and take it out and use it all winter long. But
they were amazing.
yeah, and you have a little lime tree.
We do have a lime tree.
They put it in a pot,
and it did better. And so if you're thinking about doing something in your lanai, we had it in our lanai. It doesn't get pollen, no pollination. So we put it outside, and it has been amazing. And actually, I thought after the summer, like after we pulled out, we had a whole ton of lines. After we pulled them all off, it looked kind of like sticks. I was like, tree doesn't look so good. I just noticed this morning it's flowering, so it will be producing more limes.
While they were gone, we did help ourselves to a few limes.
They're pretty good off that tree now.
But I showed them through their door ringer that I was taking them. All right.
Sandy also asked, are you allowed to leave the garage door open with the screens? If so, is there a time limit? So,
I have not seen anything where you can't leave your garage door open. But if you leave it open during the night, you might get a call from the Village's watch that your garage door is open. I have done that a few times, usually when Mark's away. I don't know why that happens. We did have a new neighbor move in. He leaves his garage door open all day. It's neat as a pin, but since he was new, some guys around here took him golfing, and he was all excited that they asked him, and they pretty much told him that he needed to close his garage door. So I'm like, did you take him golfing just to tell him that they don't like his garage door open? I don't think it really matters. And the screens, we shut our screens and leave our door open just to air it out, because it's so it gets their garage, and our garage faces west, so it gets hot in there.
And my statement with it was, as far as a time limit, I would be careful about leaving it open overnight. I mean, the Villages is very safe, but I mean, that's just me. My husband's retired law enforcement. We don't leave things unlocked.
Yes.
And that. So
it's very safe at their house.
It is. So anyway, so that's what my thought would be is.
And I left mine open several times during the night, and I'm still here.
Yep. And all your stuff's probably still there,
all my stuff.
Your questions answered July. Goob So Cold said, have you ever heard of anyone being fined for too many pets? I have not. You would have to, again, you have to go through the process of the tattletale thing and all of this in order to have somebody take action on it. So,
well, and they've changed the number of pets as the Villages grew, because on the other side it was one pet or dog, and it was under 10 pounds or something. And if you brought you could buy with a big dog, but when the big dog was gone, you couldn't get another big dog. And I think when it was that small, the restrictions were probably more enforced. I don't know.
Maybe.
But then I think we looked at some restrictions where 2 dogs, 2 cats, or 2 goldfish, or
my neighborhood does say it. Mine does say you're allowed 2 pets.
I have 3 hamsters,
and it does say that includes fish, cats, and dogs. And so I thought it was hilarious because we were laughing. If you've got 2 fish, no more pets.
Dogs.
You're over the limit.
Yep.
Not
that horse has got to go
no
too.
No 3 fishes. No 3 fishes. So.
No aquariums, in other words, unless you just want 2 fish in your aquarium. David Overholt, how have your retirement costs been since you moved to the Villages? Personally, and I think we've talked about, I think it's cheap to live in the Villages. You can spend as much money here, and you can live really cheap here and still do a lot of things.
Yes.
There's a lot of free things, the clubs, the pools, the free golf. If you want to go out to eat every night, or if you
play championships
every day, it's going to be a little more expensive. But It's I think it's cheap, and and you're not using a lot of gas if you get around by cart.
Mm-hmm.
So we got rid of a car, so that's one car, not insurance, and we go almost everywhere by cart. So
Mm-hmm.
I personally think it's cheap to live here.
Yeah.
The houses now are more expensive to buy than when we came here, but that's everywhere.
And that's when you say, have your retirement costs been since you moved here? As far as I mean, everything has gone up, as you said, nationwide because of the inflation rate. So, but I still think it's very controlled. And I find it very interesting when I read different comments that people make. And I do believe that they are residents, but they're complaining about the fact that, like, they're pulling out so our flowers here are very beautiful.
And
If
we've
you
showed
ask many
pictures of
people,
those, yeah.
yeah, and if you ask many people, why did you move here? They're like, it's so clean, it's so pretty, it's so well taken care of. It's like, it's Disney-esque and all this. So that comes at somewhat of a cost.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like still what we pay in our amenity fee and all of that is still extremely reasonable for the way this place looks and for the amenities and things that you get. People are starting to complain. Why are you taking them out 4 times a year? Should only be taking them out 3 times a year. They're not even dead yet. Well, I understand that all costs, and I understand everybody's trying to, but when you're spreading that dollar amount over the number of residents that we have, I mean, what did our amenity fee go up this year? Like $3?
Yeah.
What did it go, or from 172 to 179 or something?
I think, yeah.
I mean, it was, let's just say it was probably under $10. You know, I can tell you, I know a lot of other places in the country that if they have HOAs or amenity fees that have gone up more than that. And so I just feel like overall very affordable. The insurance has gone up. We've talked about that. The insurance has gone up. I'm sure it's gone up everywhere, but Florida has taken a hit because of the storms and everything else. And so I would say, but as far as actually our activities and our retirement costs, like everything that we do, I think, well, and our championship golf, to be honest, the Villages has raised their prices.
Yeah.
I don't want to say heftily or mightily, but they've raised them a bit. And then they didn't raise them, but then they charged us tax. We didn't used to pay tax on our golf, and it was included in the rate. And then now they kept that rate the same, but then now we pay the tax. So it went up.
So no one would notice.
Yes. And all of a sudden we're like, how come it was 84 last week? And now, anyway, so it did go up, and then the rates don't come out. We're fixed until they have 2 sets of rates. It came out in June for the second half. So we're fixed until December. We'll see what happens in January. I mean, it'll be interesting.
Those are out yet, are they?
No. No, I don't think they put them out until like November, December. So I don't think they want to hear about it.
Yeah,
But
they don't want to tick us off, do they?
Yeah. No, but those costs have gone up, I would say, too, living here.
Sure.
But you don't have to golf the championships. You can golf the executives and be fine. And so anyway, it just depends on what you do.
Yep. Exactly.
So, but it is still a very reasonable place to live for sure, and especially for all you get for your money.
That's right. So that's our conclusion of your questions answered marathon.
So we hope you enjoyed this one.
Like and subscribe.
Yep, got more coming.